You are listening to the Outlaw Podcast with me, your host, Andrea Hall. I am a certified equine gestalt coach, speaker, 3-time author, and lawyer. I help women lawyers who are miserable in their career, struggling with mental and emotional health issues, wanting to have fun in their lives, and struggling to be selfish. After fulfilling my dream of being a criminal defense attorney and opening my own law practice right out of law school, I thought I had it all. While at the height of my career, my 18-month-old puppy died, and I thought, what am I killing myself for? Sometime later, I was diagnosed with a brain tumor, and my world turned upside down. It was in that moment I realized something had to change. This podcast is about sharing my journey with you about what is possible in your life outside the legal profession, stopping the adulting and being able to play as a child, inspiring you to dream again. Let the journey begin. Welcome back to another episode of Outlaw. I'm your host, Andrea Hall. I am a masterpiece working on mastering peace. Let me say that again. I am a masterpiece working on mastering peace. Yes, working on peace. Wow. This process has been way more difficult than I would have ever imagined. For the first time, probably in like 47 years of my life, I have actually stopped doing, and I have really started focusing on just being. And I think the definition of us being a human being is really sinking in for the first time in my life. I've, done lots of personal growth work, and that is always something that has been talked about, is this being instead of actually doing. And the more that you could be, the better off that you would be, and things would come to you and you would be in the flow. And I think that there have been times in my life where it was really easy to be, and then there have been other times where it's been a lot more difficult to be. And for me, the theme of this year has really been to focus on me. And I said that in one of my very first episodes, which I called the 100 Days. I've noticed others around me as well doing the same thing. For me, the grind was the only thing I knew. It was a pattern. It was a thought process that I should be doing, and I needed to constantly be busy. This famous busy. I think most people, you would ask them and they would say, oh my gosh, I was busy today. And we're okay when people say we're busy. If somebody said, you know what, I took the day off, I journaled, I drank some hot tea, I worked out, most people's response would be, oh my gosh, I would love to do that for myself. How do you do that? And it's just a matter of making yourself a priority and choosing that. We all get to choose what we're going to do because we all have the same 24 hours in a day. I'm not special, you're not special. No one is granted any more than 24 hours in the day. And I think I required this busyness and doing as a child. Not that that's right or wrong. However, it is. And the question is it serving me now? Or has it served its purpose in the past? And I would say absolutely 100% it has served its purpose in the past. Being busy and grinding out and going after whatever it is that I want has definitely served me in the past. Yet I had come to this place over the last year of frustration and disappointment. And I have had lots of things in my life to pat myself on the back over, many successes. That's not my issue. This past year has been extremely hard business-wise. I really wanted to take the leap and leave my law practice. And I really thought that when the universe was clear that I had made that decision, that I would be in alignment and everything would take off. Yet it's been very disappointing and frustrating. And when I say I'm going to do something, I do it. And when I want something, I go after it. And I will grind, I will push, and I will do whatever it takes to make it happen. And for me, success has come fairly easy. Not that I mean that it was handed to me or that there weren't some struggles, and yet not struggles like I've had the last year. It really felt like I was putting a square peg in a round hole, and I was doing that over and over and over again, thinking that I was going to get different results. And what is that? Nothing more than the definition of insanity, doing the same thing over and over again, expecting different results. And what I mean is that when, I set my mind to something, I was able to show some sort of progress or that there was steps forward. And yet, over the past year, it has felt like if I've taken one step forward, I've ended up 3 steps back. And it's been difficult to get and have results. And I am 100% results oriented. If I am doing something and not feeling like I'm getting results, then I get frustrated, I get mad, I get angry, and I stop and I look for another solution. And that's been the pattern over and over and over again. And I made a decision while I was sick towards the end of the year that I wasn't getting back on the hamster wheel and going to do the same thing over and over and over again. I vowed not this year. This year, 2020, I think really is significant. 2020 is perfect vision. You typically say hindsight is 2020, which obviously is perfect vision, right? When you look back at the results. And I'm wondering how many people out there can really relate to this, the grinding it out, the pushing it, and expecting results, and then yet feeling frustrated if you're not getting those results. That feeling like you're not making any progress. And I have watched it in my profession. Women leaving a firm, wanting to step out on their own, women being stressed out in the legal profession and wanting to leave the legal profession, yet constantly looking for a solution. And yet the solution is really stepping outside and leaving the profession and potentially finding something that makes their heart sing again. And wanting that change and yet not making any progress. The definition of insanity, right? And for me, it was really stopping the merry-go-round and ultimately getting off and saying, no, I'm going to choose something different. Not just I'm going to think about choosing something different, like really choosing something different. Setting my alarm and getting up. In fact, my husband typically says to me, what are you getting up so early for? And it's because this is the time that I have allotted for me, because what happens is my day gets busy, I get sucked into emails, phone calls take me away from what I'm doing, and I can easily get sidetracked, not because that's what I want, however, it's distraction, right? Every time I hear a ding on the computer or a ding on my phone, even though I may not necessarily stop what I'm doing, it mentally takes me out of the mode I was just in. I then look at one or both of those, whether it's the computer or my cell phone, and then I have to refocus back into what I was doing. And so I said, you know what, I'm going to take that time for me, whether it's I'm reading a book that I want, or it's a book that I'm reading, whatever that is, and allow myself time to journal, eat healthy again and get back on track with that, and work out. And then by 8 o'clock, 9 o'clock in the morning, I can get into my office and do what is necessary. And so I was going to again focus on me, because the pushing in the past wasn't getting me the results I wanted or what I was looking for. And results are often harsh, yet they're always true and fair. There's nothing you can argue with results. Yeah, you might want to blame somebody else or be a victim to them, yet they're hard facts. You're not able to argue with them. Now, let me be clear. This has not been easy, as I said at the beginning of this podcast. And my brain has fought me tooth and nail, because that's what I've been trained to do, is go full speed, 100 miles an hour. And it's sometimes difficult to stop that thought process, that belief, that pattern, that value, because it was ingrained in me long ago. And it wasn't anything necessarily that somebody said verbally to me. Yet some of that may have happened. Yet it definitely was based on observation. I had two parents who had businesses, and work was very important so that they could put a roof over our head and create a life for us. Yet ultimately at the end of the day, I can look back and I see my mom's life and I go, wow, how much different could my life be? And so I continue to get up early. I continue to work out and self-reflect and just be. And every day that muscle gets a little stronger. And I'm hoping after the first 100 days of this year that muscle becomes a repetition, and that it becomes easier and becomes second nature, and I'm able to drown out the noise in my head of this desire to continue to be busy, to continue to push, to continue to grind. Because it's been my experience that when I can get quiet, especially like when I'm out with the horses, and I see this happen with my clients a lot, when they're able to get grounded and centered and actually be quiet and be with, the answers bubble to the surface. And you're able to discover and find the peace that is within. I would love to hear how you are working on mastering peace in this year of perfect vision. Share with me in the comments what steps you take daily, or maybe even weekly, to bring peace into your life. Thanks for tuning in to another episode of Outlaw. Thanks for tuning into another episode of Outlaw. There is life after litigation. If anything I said in this episode resonates with you, call for a free exploratory session to see how I can help you. My horses will give you instantaneous feedback. Unlike traditional talk therapy, you will shift your awareness into real time with the help of a horse. The horses are like lie detectors, flushing out limiting beliefs with a swish of their tail, a shift of their 1,200-pound body, or a simple unwillingness to move. Horses have a way of seeing into the window of our souls. Horses have been connected to humanity since the dawn of time. Their hearts can heal and mend our broken hearts. Simply standing in their presence can change our lives forever. Putting the puzzle pieces back together
and returning us to wholeness. Horses are restoring the parts of us that have been missing. You can call us at 970-682-4405 to set up your appointment today. Want to be inspired daily? See about our latest events or purchase a copy of my books? Go to our website at www.witherswhisper.com. That's www.witherswhisper.com. Or you can follow us on any social media venue at Withers Whisper. Until the next episode, listen to the whispers.